Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that sounds like sci-fi but is happening right now. How artificial intelligence is poised to completely transform military education. We're going to look at some fascinating new research to see the massive opportunities, the really serious challenges, and what it all means for the future of conflict. So, it all really boils down to this one big question. What does a modern soldier actually need to know to be effective today? Because let's face it, the battlefield has changed so much, so fast, that the old ways of training just might not cut it anymore. Let's keep that question in our back pocket as we go. All right, so first up, the new rules of war. To really get why the training has to change, we first need to get our heads around just how much the nature of war itself has been rewritten by technology. We are in a totally different ballgame now. You know, back in the day, military training was all about physical grit, drills, and classic battlefield tactics. And that stuff is still important, for sure. But today's conflicts, they're often defined less by brute force and more by bandwidth. We're talking about cyber attacks, drone swarms, and information warfare. So while being physically fit is essential, it's just not the only thing you need to survive on a digital battlefield. And that leads us right to the core issue. Modern warfare moves at the speed of data, but our training methods, well, they're often stuck in the last century. There's this growing and frankly dangerous gap between how we prepare soldiers and what they're actually going to face out there. So, how do we bridge that gap? The research we're looking at today points to a really powerful, if complicated, solution: artificial intelligence. The idea is to turn AI into the ultimate training ground for the soldier of the future. And a huge piece of this puzzle is a concept called adaptive learning. Now, the easiest way to think about it is like a personal digital tutor for every single soldier. These AI systems watch how you're doing in real time, and then they adjust the training just for you. So if you're a rock star at strategy, the AI will throw more complex problems at you. But if you're struggling with, say, identifying cyber threats, it'll give you more reps on that. It's the complete opposite of the old one-size-fits-all approach. And this is where it gets really cool. This is the AI simulation cycle. So a trainee makes a move. Instantly, the AI adapts the entire scenario. It's unpredictable, just like a real mission would be. Then it analyzes your performance, and here's the key part: gives you feedback right away. Think about that. You're not waiting for a debrief at the end of the day. You're learning and correcting your mistakes literally second by second. That's a real game changer. So what's the payoff? Well, it's potentially huge. With AI, you can run these hyper-realistic simulations that would be impossible or way too expensive to do in the real world. You're honing decision-making under incredible pressure. And because it's all personalized, every soldier is developing the specific skills they need most. It's about making training smarter, faster, and able to keep up with the crazy pace of technological warfare. But okay, let's pump the brakes for a second. It's not that simple. As amazing as all this sounds, this technology is not a magic bullet. It comes with some really significant risks and challenges that we absolutely have to talk about. This quote, which is inspired by the research, just nails the dilemma perfectly. AI here is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you get all this amazing efficiency. But on the other, you have this threat, this risk that we could start to erode the very human skills that matter most, like intuition and gut instinct, which naturally brings us to the elephant in the room. When you're talking about integrating AI at this level with so much on the line, you have to ask, what exactly could go wrong here? Well, the list of potential problems is pretty sobering. First off, data security. How in the world do you protect all this incredibly sensitive training data from being hacked? Then you've got algorithmic bias. What if the AI starts unfairly penalizing certain soldiers based on hidden biases in its code? Of course, there's the astronomical cost of developing and maintaining these systems. But the one that really keeps people up at night is skill degradation. Are we running the risk of training soldiers who literally forget how to think for themselves without the AI holding their hand? And yeah, of all the risks, the research suggests this is the big one. An overdependence on these automated systems could chip away at the most essential human skills a soldier has: critical thinking, moral judgment, leadership. You know, all the stuff you desperately need when the tech fails or when you face a situation so strange and new that no algorithm could have ever seen it coming. So, with all those serious risks on the table, what's the solution? how do we get all the good stuff from AI without falling into these traps? Well, it's all about forging a new kind of soldier for the future. And here is the core principle that has to guide everything. The goal is not to replace the human. It is to augment them. It's about creating a powerful partnership, a synthesis between human judgment and AI's analytical power. Technology should be a tool that makes our best people even better, not a crutch that replaces their skills. So what does that hybrid model actually look like? Well, take a look. Yes, AI-driven simulations are a big chunk of it, about 40%. But notice what's almost just as big: human mentorship and instruction. The idea isn't to just stick a soldier in a room with a computer. It's about blending that powerful tech with guidance from experienced human leaders and wrapping the whole thing in strong ethical oversight. So this all points to a pretty clear path forward. You have to start by building really clear ethical rules for how this AI will be used. You have to make cybersecurity a top priority from day one. It would probably help to work with allies to set international standards. But the most important piece? Committing to these hybrid models that intentionally blend the raw power of AI with the wisdom and irreplaceable judgment of human instructors. And that leaves us with one last really critical thought to chew on. As this technology just keeps advancing at this incredible breakneck speed, the ultimate challenge isn't really a technical one. It's a human one. How do we make sure that we are using all this power to build wiser, more resilient, more adaptable soldiers, and not just smarter machines? That's the question that will define everything.